Okay, so what we have here today is we have return air on the second story of this older style house, and this is the master bedroom, and here is the supply air. We were getting air out of the supply, but nothing in the return. So what I've done is I went through all the registers in the house and used a wrap so where there's no airflow coming out of these, or we're trying to block it off. And what I want to do is in this room over here, there's a supply and a return. I'm not sure exactly which one is which yet. So, but in the bathroom, I've taped off the register that's here, and walking downstairs, like I blinked off all of the supply and return grills downstairs. And so what we're going to do now is we're going to try to see worst case scenario. This is an addition that's down here. There is a supply underneath that window and a supply underneath that window, which to this point has not got any, has very little airflow comes out of them. And this is an addition to the home, and they did spend money on trying to add value to their house, but they can't enjoy this space. So what we're actually considering is on this wall putting a mini ductless split system that will mount right up above that picture. Let's see. So this was a return grill that's now blinked off and turned on, and there's a supply over here, and this is where the thermostat is placed on the wall. Obviously this is not the best location for it. The heat from the television coming off of this, and then also the sunlight coming in and affecting the temperature of the house. And then behind this couch right here, underneath that window, is a supply duct, and then this one down here also is a supply duct. Underneath the kitchen is the supply. Underneath the sink is a supply. In this bathroom is a supply right there that's been blinked off, and then one more on that wall there. One way, just for this particular house, I'm in Elk Ridge, you can see how there's this little indentation. That indicates to me that that's where a supply duct or a return duct could be. And then you'll notice a break in the crown molding. So if you were trying to trace the ductwork, obviously you're not going to take a hammer and break the drywall open. You have to look for little indications like these two return and supply ducts here. So that's where we're at, and I'm going to go upstairs and see if we're getting a return air at all from that upstairs space, because the air conditioner just came on. And my goal is to actually have this, and you can see that there's still a little bit of hair here, and it's not actually pulling down through the grill. I can take this grill off and see that, look, this stuff is still hanging around, and a good suction would make this go directly down into the filter. So what I thought for this particular house was that we were going to have to do something with the return air, because by blinking everything off, this would make this be the primary return air for the house. And by this still not being able to pull back enough return air even from just this one room, it's going to make it so where we're going to have to come up with some different options for the homeowners for this second story of their house. So if you're having a problem, this overall the overall diagnosis for this house is I blinked off all the return airs, all the supply airs, to try to see if I could get just this one return to just pull. That's all, just pull back. And I cannot get that, even with everything else blanked off. So what we need to do now is come up with different alternatives for the homeowner. The one thing that we don't have an option of doing is going in the attic, because in the attic they're actually utilizing that as a loft or an office space. So it is a finished space that's upstairs, and so you can actually see that this is actually not an option to hang ductwork and to do all of that stuff. So now we have to come up with a different alternative even for that. I don't know if we can put a duct booster or I don't know. I'm gonna have to come up with some different alternatives for this particular house. But that's the idea behind this today, is to figure out, could I get any return air out of this by blinking everything else off, supply and or return. And let's see, the supply is not blowing either. Maybe it just turned off. Okay,